went to a comedy show last night, and I didn't think I saw a single person with a face mask. I didn't hear anybody coughing. It was like, we had a good time.
Yeah, the only thing I remember that was out of the ordinary was that bitch in front of us.
Okay, let's deconstruct.
Wait, let's first of all, okay, so we went to see Trevor Wallace. It was awesome. We'll come back to that.
Wait, this is a comedy show inside of a theater, which means there's people sitting in front of you and behind you. This girl thinks it's a good idea to wear a hat.
A big brimmed hat sitting on the back of her
head.
skull so that the circle is making as much obstruction as possible. It was almost like she goes, what hat could I wear that would obstruct the most vision for people, and in what manner could I wear? Because if she was wearing it flat,
it would have been a problem.
All you would be obstructing was the little thin brim.
She was wearing it as a piece of fashion. She wasn't wearing it as a hat. It was a fashion piece.
Because her morals are huge.
Yeah, did you guys know the bigger the hat, the bigger the morals? Check it out next time. When you see a girl wearing a big hat, probably at church or the Kentucky Derby.
Accurate as fuck.
Big morals. Big morals.
Big old morals. So this chick had the biggest morals I've ever seen.
She was also so pale, she was wearing whiteout as makeup.
Basically.
Except for the fact that she had 2 black stars tattooed
She had
above
2
her
little
eyebrow.
black stars above her eyebrow, which made me want to kill myself. And then,
to add icing onto the cake,
instead of clapping
or laughing,
she would snap above her head.
But she wasn't actually making noise while she was snapping.
And her fingers were about
And
1 inch
if you're
long.
on video, she was doing it like this. It looked like she was trying to light a lighter.
It literally looked like she was going like this, and she was doing it
in a way
so that everyone could see that she was doing it.
Yeah, I snapped instead of clap above my head.
But do you know why people do the snap thing?
It's a
trigger warning. It's an anti-trigger thing because apparently clapping is a trigger for people because it sounds like you're getting slapped or hit.
Or like PTSD.
Yeah,
for
it's like,
gunshots I actually think it actually goes before that into like poetry readings and poetry slams.
Oh yeah, like slam poetry.
Yeah, like the vibe and the mood is like.
Yeah, dude. When
nice.
Did you see when he goes, clap if you've ever been in a show
a
or
room
something
full of black people
where it's all black people and you're one of the only white people. She's like, like she was like so lit.
Well, there was one
just to be like, I've been there.
Well, there was
fuck yeah.
So there was one part where
I think she even said like,
well, there was one part where it's like, how many of y'all are from Atlanta? And she's like, woo, and like started doing the little like snappy thing.
And she would like turn her wrist in such a way that it was just like you could tell that she was like so like.
She was also Snapchatting the whole time. So
yeah, she was recording the whole set. Like it was basically
which is a huge no-no in comedy. You don't record.
You want to see what Trevor Wallace performed last night? Go on this bitch's Snapchat. You can see the whole show.
She also organized all of her apps by color. She had a folder called Yellow. She kept opening up and using her Snapchat, which is yellow.
Oh my God.
I promise you it was in the top left. I saw it. I was sitting right behind her.
Yeah. I looked over at you a couple times and I could see that you were like visibly perturbed. Like you were just
it's the forehead vein. The forehead vein gives it away. I got a forehead vein that you can tell I'm mad.
I couldn't see that side.
When I
got
on this.
I don't know.
I got dual forehead veins.
You got dual forehead veins, bro?
Dual. Like a dually.
I upgraded from a single forehead vein to a dual forehead vein last
Better blood
summer.
flow to the brain, get you more cranial activity. Therefore, you is more smarter.
Hell yeah, brother.
Akimbo veins.
What?
Akimbo veins.
What's akimbo veins?
So, so stupid.
I missed it.
In modern warfare, you could get like 2 pistols and
you're talking to 2 people that don't play video games, AJ. We have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
It's akimbo something though, right?
Oh man, I thought y'all would have gotten that.
No,
but it means like you can
I don't even have a
dual
TV
pistols.
in here.
dual wielding veins.
Akimbo.
Oh, dual akimbo.
What's the actual thing though? Just akimbo?
It's akimbo.
I feel like I've heard it, but I wouldn't have known.
Oh Jesus.
Oh well, maybe someone out there laughed.
So minus snapping girl with giant hat and star tattoos on her face and whiteout makeup, the show was fun.
The show was surprisingly good. Like we were all in the car afterwards, like very, very. We were just like, that was really good. It wasn't just like, oh, that was cool to see Trevor Wallace. Like, I'm glad we saw him in person. I like him as a person, and that was cool to see him perform. He was genuinely good as a stand-up comedian. Even if I didn't know him or his personality or anything, I would have really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, so Trevor Wallace is mostly known for his little skits he does on YouTube or that kind of migrates on Instagram. And a lot of times
Instagram comedian.
Yeah, a lot of times when people get, Instagram comedy famous or they get YouTube comedy famous, they will do live shows, but all they do is just like their characters from their skits. Like they'll just play the characters from their skits. So you're like, oh, I recognized him from the Bang Energy skit. Oh man, that's the guy from the White Claw skit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the guy from the blah blah skit at the beach. It's like
Churdleys and whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He had his actual proper stand-up, and
he would play into the voices a little bit, but not so much so that if you didn't know the voices, you wouldn't laugh. Like he played into those characters a little bit in some of his bits, but everyone loved it. Like it was the perfect amount of like playing into his like internet characters.
Yeah, and I think it was you could tell he's good, but he's not polished yet. Like
he's working on his act, but
there was a couple of times where like, especially people in the fucking crowd would not shut up. That they would like, he would skip a beat and like have to like, reply to the heckler and then would go back to his stool and look at his like notes on the stool.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where you could clearly tell he'd space out and just like walk over there and grab a water and take a sip, even though like,
that's typical comedy.
If you know anything about comedy, like, that's how they go, and because they got a piece of paper that's laying on the stool next to the water bottles or whatever.
Yeah, and the thing about that too is like there were definitely parts of jokes that needed like it was really funny and the jokes everyone was laughing and it was rolling and like but there could have been another tag that like got everyone to laugh again but whatever he said like wasn't that funny or whatever.
Or he did a callback in his closing bit that was hilarious, but he had bad timing. It's when he was talking about his dad's limo, and he goes, "What you know about my mom's poutine?" But like people were laughing already, so they missed the better joke that came second, and it was like, dude, if that was just
if you were just done the timing a little bit, but that's what he's learning.
Different place, yeah. He's doing a really good job.
And we're like overanalyzing it because the show overall was amazing. Like I loved it.
We're big comedy fans. We listen to a lot of comedy podcasts. We understand comedy pretty well. We go to a lot of comedy shows.
Yeah,
well, I do at least.
Yeah.
And what do we both do? I don't know.
Yeah.
I do at least. I just know Jalila and I go to a lot of shows too.
Yeah. I've gone to a lot. I've gone, especially like the Comedy Store and stuff like that when we're out of town. I typically like don't go to tons here in Atlanta, but I've gone to. I've definitely gone to more comedy shows than the average person. That's for sure.
Yeah, when you're on tour, your act is usually more polished. When you're at the Comedy Store, you're working on bits,
and it's only like 15-minute sets. Like you're not watching a full hour or full 30 or whatever. It's typically 10 or 15-minute sets. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode that clip was from, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right here.